Alright, what we have here says a garden has the shape of a right triangle with one leg 8 meters longer than the other. The hypotenuse is 8 meters less than twice the length of the shorter leg. That sounds all pretty complicated, but when we draw a picture it'll make a little more sense. What we were asked to do is find the length of the shorter leg. Alright, like I said, let's draw ourselves a picture. We're dealing with a right triangle, so we're going to need the Pythagorean theorem. And remember, the Pythagorean theorem says if you have a right triangle, the legs are A and B, and the hypotenuse is C, then the relationship between these sides is A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. Whatever the legs are, this leg squared plus that leg squared is the hypotenuse squared. Well, we're dealing with a right triangle here, and let's fill in what we are told about this right triangle. It's got the two legs and the hypotenuse, and we're trying to find the length of the shorter leg, so let's just call that x. It's always a good idea to label the thing that we're looking for with a variable, so we'll call it x. Now it says that one leg is 8 meters longer than the other. Well, if this is the short one, then this would be the long one, and it's x plus 8. And I get that from this statement right here, 8 meters longer than the other. Alright, now it also tells us that the hypotenuse is 8 meters less than twice the length of the shorter side. Well, twice the length of the shorter leg. Well, if this is x, if the short leg is x, then twice that is 2x. And then 8 meters less than that would be 2x minus 8. So based on the information they gave us, we have this right triangle with these two legs, x and x plus 8, and that hypotenuse. So now we can apply the Pythagorean theorem, which tells us that this leg squared plus this leg squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. So that will look like this. X plus 8 squared plus x squared is equal to 2x minus 8 squared. Well, now we just have to multiply all this stuff out. X plus 8 squared, we can write this as x plus 8 times x plus 8, and then this is plus x squared is equal to, and this side squared we can write as 2x minus 8 times 2x minus 8. And we just multiply this out using our FOIL method. X times x is x squared plus 8x plus another 8x plus 64. And there's that plus x squared that was there. And on this side, when we FOIL, we get 2x times 2x is 4x squared minus 16x minus another 16x. Negative 8 times negative 8 is plus 64. Alright, we've got a quadratic equation on our hands. What we get to simplify this side first, and then we'll see about moving things back and forth across the equal signs. X squared, oops, I left out a square. That should have been x squared from here. I just carried this down. So this is x squared, and this is x squared. So it's 2x squared. 8x and 8x is 16x. There's the plus 64. On this side I've got 4x squared minus 16, and minus 16 is minus 32x plus 64. Now I've simplified each side as much as we can, so now let's just move everything to the left or the right and set it equal to 0. I'm going to subtract 2x squared from both sides. And in doing that, what we're going to end up with is 4x squared minus 2x squared is 2x squared over here. Could have gone the other way, but then I would have had a negative 2x squared over here, and I kind of want to avoid a negative in front of the x squared. And then we're going to subtract 16x from both sides. And negative 32x minus 16x It's going to give us minus 48x. And then we can subtract 64 from both sides. And the good news is those cancel, so we just have on this side, the right side, 2x squared minus 48x. And on the left side, everything canceled, so we have 0. That's what we'd hoped to do. That's what we wanted to do. We solve this by factoring the right side. We can factor out a GCF of 2x, which would leave us in the parentheses x minus 24. And then we set each factor equal to 0 and solve. And this one leads us to x is equal to 0, and this one leads us to x is equal to 24. Now, the only solution that will work in this particular problem is x is equal to 24. We can't have a 0 length for a leg of a triangle, so we toss that answer out, and the length of the shorter side would be 24.